What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And if you read the title, you're probably looking at the screen and probably don't know that all of these figures are from the sets. Now, of course, the title says building a better Black Panther Wakanda Forever figures. However, there are still problems with some figures, and I'm going to keep it like that, but these are custom updates that I would do. Of course, if you want the pitch perfect versions, then just go online and research Lego Black Panther Wakanda Forever Build-A-Betters, and you'll find a lot of figures. However, these are the ones that I'm going to stick with because the things don't personally bother me that much. Of course, you do see that these are not all the figures in the wave. Of course, we also do have the Black Panther figures. We have Shuri from the junior sets, as well as T'Challa, also from the junior sets. These figures aren't in here because, of course, I've already updated her, and this one you already know how to update. Just use like black legs with like gray. Just see a bunch of mini supers today, build a better Black Panther videos. You'll probably find what you need. Also, the Shuri original outfit. I have not seen this outfit in the movies or any promotional art, so if she does have some arm printing that does work for this character, then I might use it. But out of the box, really cool figure. However, the face, once again, does bother me, but I don't have an alternate option. Also, Okoye isn't in here because, of course, if you do want to update her, use the gold Ninjago neck piece that has the golden shoulder pads. Don't have that. And some black legs with maybe some red robes with some gray lines. And you got a perfect Okoye. But, of course, I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to be updating these figures right here. So without further ado, we're going to start off with the first figure, which is going to be Black Panther Shuri. So here is Black Panther Shuri, and of course I do have a light on, so you can see her much better and all the detail that she has on this figure. But of course, the one problems that I had in the set were some leg printing. So first off, we're going to need to get rid of this head so it's much more easier to get the image. So first off, we're going to get some minor updates. We're going to remove these hands because in the suit, in this movie, she does have some gold claws. However, it does match really well when you give her some gold hands. And honestly, that's looking a bit better already. And if you get rid of the legs and you go for Spider-Man integrated suit, these legs, and you give them to her, that is my Build a Better Shuri, and honestly, that is actually much better. And of course, I'm going to show a picture of this guy right here. He's the only other Build a Better that I've seen of this figure. But of course, as you guys can see, this is a much more cooler figure. However, arm printing, I guess, would be cool. And some hip printing I would have went for, but the hips that I wanted to use didn't really work. So that is my Build a Better Shuri, and if you want to see her unmasked, which we're going to end the segment, of course, as well, I would suggest Civil War earpieces from T'Challa, which, of course, I will get that figure so you can see what it would look like. If you have an extra pair of those, that is a print, then you could go for this. And honestly, that is pretty good as well. I really like that a lot. It's pretty good, but it doesn't really bother me that much. I mean, it does, but it's one of those things that is all right. I do suggest Sylvie's arms, which was on the figure that I did show you a second ago. I really think that those are like awesome arms because they're like black and gunmetal and a bit of gold. So there is my updated Shuri, and now we're going to move on to Nakia. So here is Nakia. And there really isn't like that much bad about this figure. She has amazing face, amazing torso, legs. It's just the hair. So what I went for is a bit obscure. You won't think that this is like really good. But I went for this hairpiece. This is from The Hobbit. And in my personal opinion, that looks a little bit better. I don't think that it might work for you guys. But let me know in the comments below. This is from... of course, I'm showing the figures on the side as well. So it's from that figure that I am showing. It is, I think, from Lord of the Rings or Hobbit. I don't know. I think it's from Lord of the Rings, though. But it, of course, looks much better and looks more like Nakia. And she does have her long black hair. So that really doesn't bother me. So anyway, now time to go on the next figure, which is, of course, going to be Nemo. And of course, if you stick till the end, there will be a special custom that I've made for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. She was actually in a couple reviews if you've seen them. But of course, this is the one from the set that has a silver spear, because the other one is on display. But the weapon that I went for is this brick built. Now, this is much more accurate to his weapon that he has in the movie. This is actually a sword that I cut off the hilt, put it on a lightsaber hilt, and a stud and a gold pole. And if you put it in his hand, that's a pretty good weapon, if I do say so myself. However, once again, you could use Tasu Leech's face from Star Wars if you want to get the like the mustache and stuff, and the arms would be Tarantula ladies from the Lego Batman movie. I'm still, of course, putting it in his other hand so you can see him much easier. There you go. So that is my updated Namor. I like the face, and the arms really don't bother me. So yeah, time to go on the next figure, which of course is going to be Baku. So the updates that I made to Baku, of course this is the normal figure, but the updates I made is pretty cool. So first off, we're going to remove his weapon, because we're going to do his weapon last, but removing that. Of course, the legs first, leg printing, we need that. So we're going to use some Harry Potter legs with some gray boots and a hip piece from, I forget. It's from a Star Wars character though. And I don't know where it is, but putting that on, of course, now we have a bit of a better Baku. However, also, if you remove the head, this is going to be a bit controversial. I'm going to go for this Kraven the Hunter fur piece that I did cut off the top for an Baku custom. However, you guys didn't see that figure, and I think it looks pretty good on this guy. However, I think a light gray fur piece would be better. But anyway, also his staff, we're gonna go for this brick built that I have already built for him. As you guys can see, the ball piece at the top is much better than studs, and I did curve a pole so it could stick on here. And if you put it in his hand, I think that that is a pretty good update. He's one of my favorites because there really isn't anything else other than arm printing, I guess. But that is my custom updated Baku, and now we're going to take a look at, of course, we're going to take a look at Atuma. So Atuma, if you don't like the skin tone, you can't really update that. But the first thing we're going to do is get rid of his weapon. We'll give his weapon last. We're going to take his head off, and I'm going to go for this armor piece that I got from a Lego City stunt set. And I do have one that's cut for Korg. You guys will see that pretty soon. But of course, as you guys can see, now he has his brown armor that I was talking about in there. The reason why it's not tan or anything like in the or light gray, because this is the best one that I have in my collection, and honestly, it looks pretty cool. Also, the axe is a bit too big that I gave for him. This is Hulk's kind of axe with this gunmetal gray piece, but I think it works pretty well for him. You could just go for an axe at the very top, but for his weapon, I think that this is much more better of a weapon. So that is my upgraded Atuma, and now we're gonna go on to Ironheart Mark 1. So Ironheart Mark 1, the only thing I couldn't update on these figures is the hairpiece. So of course, this hairpiece would work really well for Ironheart. Of course, you guys can look it up online. It has her two buns in the back. However, I don't have this. This is what the figure would look like. Go check out this guy on Instagram. But yeah, a really cool idea. It's just a really old hairpiece, and I don't have it in my collection. So if you guys do, you can use it. And time to go back to the video. I was going to use a hairpiece, but it didn't work out really well. Anyway, the first thing that you're going to do is we're going to completely update this backpack. We're going to go, and we're basically, the figure is perfect. So we're going to remove these discs because we don't need them, and they're a bit too small. So in the movie, they're actually black, which I don't, I'm not going to update the color because the color doesn't work. So you're going to take these discs off, and you're only going to keep this red piece, because this red piece we're going to use for it. Let's just keep that there. So on the other side too. Also get rid of the stud at the bottom that came with it. Once again, like in the review, we're going to use a stud with a hole in it. The connection that I'm going to use instead is, of course, going to be these pieces. If you have these in black, great, use them. I cannot find the ones I have in black, so use these ones in black if you have them. Of course, you're going to use some studs with holes in them at the bottom. So, of course, now you can put these on here, and, of course, you can have more fun with them. So, yeah, we're going to put them like that. And we're also going to update this back piece, and we're going to get rid of it, and we're going to go for this piece. This is from the Silver Centurion. Now, we haven't seen her back. I know she has like a jetpack or something, but honestly, this is pretty good for now, I guess. If she wears something like really unique and cool in the movie, then I'll go for it. Also, that's really what the backpack looks like. It's pretty good, of course. As I said originally, you can push these down, which is honestly the best part because they're really close to her. And next, this really isn't a good idea. This really isn't my idea. First off, shout out to this guy right here. This is like an honest, like great version that I can't even come close to. So you're gonna put something right here because in the movie she actually shoots something out of here. I actually saw it on the Funko. And then next, you're gonna go for this gray piece with this piece on the back. Once again, kind of copying off of him, and that is the best Ironheart mark. Also, yeah, I forgot about these studs. You're gonna put them on the very top up here, and you have a pretty good Ironheart Mark 1 update. So there you go, and of course, just getting rid of these pieces because they're not needed anymore. So there you go. And that is Ironheart Mark 1, of course. Much better, much more bulky, and much more just Ironheart-esque. I wanted to use an armor piece, which, if I can find it... So here is the armor piece I wanted to use for this figure. Because her outfit's kind of bulky, but I didn't go for it at the long run. Because of the back piece, you couldn't put these on here. Easier, but of course, if you kind of want to see what they would have looked like, of course, just removing this and just putting this on top. Of course, more from the Silver Centurion. Gets rid of all the torso printing. The hairpiece also I don't think fits up here, which also is kind of the reason why they didn't use it. But if you found a solution, that is really what it would have looked like. Of course, it's too bulky, so I didn't go for it. Maybe I could have used something back here with it. Probably now thinking about it. But of course, the whole figure would be changed. And all this torso printing that Lego printed on here would have been for nothing. So that is it for Ironheart Mark 1. And now we're going to go on to Mark 2. So if I'm being honest, Lego actually made a really good Ironheart Mark 2 figure. And the backpack piece we're actually taking a lot of inspiration from. Because the only things, I actually have like a separate build for this. So the only things that we are going to be using is these red slopes. Everything else is going away, which we're going to basically recolor this whole thing. Which I actually have another Ironheart. I actually have the build on another neck bracket because there's just too much and too much time. So removing the head and helmets. What you're gonna do is just keeping this in the back, I guess. Is you're gonna take this and you're gonna recolor this in red. So all the pieces are gonna be red. So these pieces are gonna be in red. The other side as well. These pieces are gonna be in red because in the movie it's red and black, not gray and just gray. So then also you're gonna use a red plate on the back. If it has printing, great. Not really needed. Gold studs at the front with holes in them. And then that's it. So just take that out of here and put this on, and then put the slopes, and there you go. You have a better Ironheart figure, which I know also, once again, this guy did an amazing job. Go check him out on YouTube. That's actually a build tutorial for it. It's honestly perfect. I feel like with the one connection, because he has like just a neck bracket, not the two neck bracket like this. It's just a neck bracket. And also you're gonna need to replace the gray pieces right here with black because it's gray and black, and I wanted red everywhere else, and I wanted black to be somewhere on this, and it looks pretty good. And once again, if you have the studs, you can actually like pull it up and pull it down. It's more playability and more customization with the figure. So that's kind of why I went with this, and moving these kind of out a bit more though. But yeah, there you go for Ironheart Mark 1 update. Really not that much to update. Pretty good figure out of the box. So yeah, now we're going to take a look at the special figure, which is pretty cool. So the special figure, who is it? Of course, I've said it in the set review, and I've said it all the time that they should have included Namora. Like, it really should have been, she should have been in the sets. I said it multiple times, rating with the figures. Namor I shouldn't have 2 of him. I should have bought one on Bricklink, and that's how I have another one. But I didn't do that. I got both the sets, and Namor's not exclusive. And just once again, go watch my rating, all the Black Panther sets. But of course, here she is, and she uses a lot of parts that I never would use for anyone else. But of course, removing these, this is a completely custom figure, and I'm going to show you guys how to make this, not brick by brick like I've been doing with all the other ones. Anyway, without further ado, let's go. So the legs are Electros. Now, this whole figure kind of matches this color scheme, however the face is much more darker. But yeah, this is just a darker face, which there's no other brighter face that would work. Of course, once again, this guy did a Namora. It's actually pretty good. The headdress piece I would have used, but of course, I like mine much better, which I'll show you guys how to make. So for her headdress, what is it? So it's actually Calculator Man. So as you guys know, I have used Calculator Man for one of my customs, of course, Khonshu from Lego Marvel Collections. He uses the bottom, which I did paint. This is the top part of his head, which I did cut off the 2 numbers. So you can actually do this. This is 100% purist figure, so you can do this at home. Her spear, she has kind of a spear in the movie. So I went for a brown lightsaber with a brown thing, and of course, gray little thorn at the top. Doing the torso. Torso, I don't really like that much, but I think it's all right. She has like a brown thing on top. Of course, the torso that I showed you guys in that photo is much better for it, honestly. The torso I went for is the Mandalorian from Star Wars. Then, of course, I went for the top of Mr. Terrific's cape, the one cape I never would use for anybody. Tell me in the comments below what cape you would use this. Of course, it's this cape, which goes and folds upwards like this, which I just folded down to create kind of like her green like stuff in the movie. Then next I went for some blue arms, and then some dark brown hands, dark red hands, and then to hold the headdress up here, I used White Tiger's little mask piece up here, which holds it in place really well. The face is Nia's from Ninjago. You could use Killer Frost's face, but I wanted to use Nia because it's pretty cool. And I just used a tan kind of like piece right here to kind of represent her breathing apparatus that she has in the movie. Her legs are poison, her hips are poison ivies, and her cape is from The Martian. A lot of random parts, however, in my personal opinion, I think I did a pretty good job on making Namora, and like I said, she should have been in the sets. However, it's alright because now I have her in custom, and now she can hang out with her cousin Namor, which once again is a spoiler, and you guys shouldn't know about this. But of course, yeah, there is Namora, and now we're finally going to wrap. So that's how you build technically my versions of Black Panther. Now I know I didn't update every single figure to movie precise. However, I did like a lot of these ideas and kind of just wanted to get this out of the way. And I think that showing you guys how to build it on screen is much more fun than just showing you all the pieces. That's it for today's video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.